The Lady of Duard's Vengeance by Charles Mackay (1775–1834) Weird woman that dwellest on lofty Ben More, give ear to my sorrow, and aid I implore. A lady has come from the green sunny bowers of a far southern clime to the mountains of ours. A light in her eyes, but deceit in her heart, and she lingers and lingers and will not depart. Through darkness and danger, mid tempest and rain, she has sailed to our shores from the vineyards of Spain, forsaking her country, her kindred, her home, abroad through our cold western islands to roam, to find a young lover as fair to her sight as a vision she saw in the slumbers of night. And hither by stars inauspicious conveyed, she has come, in her gems and her beauty arrayed, with a tongue full of sweetness, a heart insincere, and fixed her bright eyes on the Chief of MacLean, to toy with his heart and bewilder his brain. And I, who was once the delight of his soul, ere she like a blight on my happiness stole, now wander through Duard, neglected and lorn, of a stranger the scoff, of my maidens the scorn, with a grief in my bosom that gnaws at the core, and a fire in my brain that will burn evermore. Unless thou wilt aid me with charm and with spell to gain back the heart I have cherished so well, and rid me of her who with art the most vile has poisoned my peace with her glozing and guile, I hate her with hatred intense as despair, yet murders a guilt that my soul cannot bear. Be calm, craven spirit, on me be the guilt, no poison shall rack her, no blood shall be spilt, till my hair has turned gray and my blood has grown thin. I have dwelt on Ben More with the spirits of sin, and have learned by their aid without weapons to kill, and can blast by a look, and destroy by my will. With a good ship the Florida far on the seas, I'd whirl her and toss her like chaff on the breeze, and far on some cliff where the storms ever roar, and aid could not reach them, I'd drive them ashore, and the wanton I'd seize by her long raven locks, and drag her to death at the foot of the rocks. But safe from all danger of winds and of tides, in calm Tobermory at anchor she rides. But peril may come mid security deep, and vengeance may wake when the world is asleep, and strong though her timbers, her haven secure, the hand of revenge, though unseen, shall be sure. Serene was the night, and unruffled the bay, not a breath stirred the deep where the Florida lay. Her broad azure pendant hung breezeless on high, and her thin taper masts pointed clear to the sky. And the moonlight that fell on the breast of the deep appeared like the charm that had lulled it to sleep. The cabin boy dreamed of the vineyards of Spain, or roamed with a maiden at sunset again. The sailor in fancy was dancing afar in his own native land to his graceful guitar, or blessed with a household in sleep was restored to the children he loved and the wife he adored. The fair Spanish lady in visions was blessed. She dreamed that escaped from the isles of the west, her young Highland chief had consented to roam to her far Andalusia in search of a home, that together they dwelt in her own sunny clime, where life was no effort and love was not crime. None dreamed of the danger that round them might lurk, but in darkness and silence a spell was at work. Concealed in the waters, at poop and at prow, the agents of evil were busy below, and noiseless their labor, but certain their stroke, through her strong coppered hull and her timbers of oak. And long ere the morning a loud sudden shriek was heard o'er the bay, "Sprung a leak! Sprung a leak!" Oh, then there was gathering in tumult and fear, and a blanching of cheeks as the peril grew near, a screaming of women, a shouting of men, and a rushing and trampling again and again. No time for leave taking, no leisure to weep. In rolled the fierce waters, and down to the deep, down, down 50 fathoms, with captain and crew, the Florida sank, with the haven in view. Down, down to the bottom, escaping but one, to tell the sad tale of the deed that was done. And he, as he battled for life with the tide, beheld the fair lady of Spain by his side, and a lank skinny hand that came up through the spray, and twined in her tresses as floating she lay, and heard the loud laughter of fiends in the air, as she sank mid the waves with a shriek of despair. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.